Hi, Sally. Hi, Steve. Hope you guys are doing okay. It's Anthony here. I went ahead and put together a brief presentation for you. It's going to cover some of the basic things we talked about over financial aid. Definitely discuss some of your options that you're going to have, and also discuss a little bit about the process of how financial aid is determined. So, if you can see the screen here, I'll go ahead and get started. I'll jump right into the presentation. And we have Financial Aid by Anthony Garrison, which is me, your wonderful advisor. The explanation for financial aid, it's basically a source of funding, funding for graduate or undergraduate studies. The amount that's awarded to each student varies. Depends on several different aspects, anything from income or parent income. We can also factor in like your parents' net worth, different things like that, dependency status, but we'll talk about that in the future. It's usually provided by the U.S. Department of Education or the educational institution that you're participating in. And honestly, it's nothing to worry about if you have financial aid. Yes, you do have a student loan. They're normally at very low interest rates, but 85% of full-time students pretty much utilize some form of financial aid. Um, Also, when you kind of think about financial aid and is it really worth it getting into debt, I've also attached this wage disparity page. What this does is kind of identifies the degree and how much you're expected to make or your pay rate of basically all workers in different educational backgrounds. As you can see, the doctorate degree holds the lowest unemployment rate, while anyone that has a degree that's less than a high school diploma has a higher unemployment rate. Given this is not a certainty that you're going to be unemployed or you will be employed if you're a doctorate degree, but as you can see, there's definitely a negative correlation as you go from doctorate degree all the way down to less educational degrees. And also, on retrospect, on the opposite end, for all workers, less than a high school diploma shows that they make the lowest weekly earnings, all the way up into the doctorate degree. You can see it progressively increases as you approach the top. The next page I provided, we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the explanations of how financial aid works. Basically, anyone can apply. If you go into the website, as you see, I have a snippet attached. The accounts are all free for you to create. You just kind of go in and you can click the button that is right over here. It says financial aid, apply for aid. Once you create an account, you have free access. There's also the application process is free and it's very simple. That's a couple questions. All of these questions will be used to determine your eligibility as far as how much the student will be able to receive from financial aid and which different packages that they're eligible for. Next, we're going to move forward to the next slide. This slide is basically talking about the financial aid process. The application basically is going to check the eligibility, as we said before, for all different types of financial aid. Now, as far as that, different types, there's grants, there's loans, and there's also a work study program, to name a few, which is probably the majority of the options that you have. The answers provided are used to calculate the expected family contributions, which we refer to as the EFC. The EFC is basically a formula that's used to figure out how much the family and the student can contribute to their own uh, educational funding, and whatever the student or the parents aren't able to fund, financial aid awards you the difference to cover the costs. There's usually one of the three methods that will be used to determine the EFC. There's the regular formula, the simplified formula, and also the automatically assessment formula. Excuse me. The cost of attendance, once you figure that out, or normally if you look at a university, they'll give you the cost of attendance. Once you subtract off that EFC, what's remaining is going to be the financial aid need for the student, and that is normally how much is awarded through a financial aid package that you will receive from your university. A little more details about the process for determining the EFC. The most popular formula used is the regular formula. It's considered the family assets and income. Parent contributions and student contributions are taken into consideration. 12% of the parent's discretionary net worth is considered available for funding. Also, 50% of the student's income, and I want to say it's 20% of the student's net worth. Another formula used is the simplified method. Does not consider family assets. Parents do not need to file income tax, or the parent must file a 1040A or 1040EZ form. To think the 1040EZ form is not part of our tax code anymore, but basically, if you're filing that you do not make more than $50,000, or the parent does not make more than $50,000 for the year, and the automatically assessed method basically calculates your EFC at zero. It shows that the Forge for students receive the maximum financial aid. Parents do not need to file the income tax. Also, similar to the simplified method, the only difference is the adjusted gross must be less than $24,000 for the automatically assessed method. Moving forward, now we come to the different types of financial aid. There's three primary types of financial aid that I want to discuss with you. The first one is the government grants. Government grants is basically money that's funded that does not require repayment. This is funds that's allocated to us from the government as a gift, given the word grant. And then we have student loans. Student loans are offered to us with a low interest rate. It's definitely a part of the entire financial aid package. And there are many different types of loan. There's the Stafford loan, there's the Federal Perkins loan, and then the Parent Plus loan, which is where parents are allowed to take out loans on their behalf to fund their students. Their children. In this case, your children's financial aid. And the last program we're going to talk about is the work study program. It's usually a job that's based on campus. Most students or all students must complete the FAFSA and have financial aid to qualify for one of the work study positions. These are usually jobs in the administrative office. You cannot exceed your work study awards amount, so that's why most jobs are typically going to be part-time for the students. And that pretty much wraps up everything I had to speak with you guys about. I just want to again touch base with you, give you a little bit of the information that you were looking for. If you have any questions, please jot them down, give me a call, or we can discuss them in our next meeting. I look forward to hearing back from you guys. You have a great day, okay?